Public meeting of the Board of Health will come to order. My name is Steve Fram. I'm the chairman. Alba Goulthorpe is missing, and Elaine Byrne is right there. Hi, Elaine.
Hi. I'm here.
Okay, the only item on our agenda is to answer a question about cleaning up Plum Island from medical waste. Apparently there's a volunteer who has the equipment and would like to clean up in front of his house and all of his neighbors. I have a problem with it because for years they've said that the beach is actually private property. And if it's private property, I don't feel as though the board can grant permission for.
You have to read all this before they can start the meeting.
All right, I'll go back. I have to read something before we can start the meeting. This is a public meeting of the Board of Health. I'm Steve Fram, the chairperson. Please let me confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
So you just need to confirm any staff members, Steve.
Say again?
You just need to confirm whether any staff members are present and are going to participate, and they just need to confirm that.
Yeah, health director and health inspector are
They should answer.
present.
They should
Pardon
answer.
me?
They need to answer for you. They have to say present.
Present. Virginia
Deborah.
Bacon, Health Inspector.
Deb Rogers, Health Director, present.
Okay. We'll go back. Today is July 13th. It's a little past 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It's an open meeting, which is being conducted remotely consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12, 2020, due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the COVID-19 virus. For this meeting, the Board of Health is convening by telephone or video conference via Zoom, as posted on the agenda. Materials, if any, were provided to the board members. Committee members were provided material prior to the meeting, or there was no material for the meeting distributed, either or. I'll introduce each speaker on the agenda. And as far as I know, the only person on the agenda will be Deb. Do you want to explain what they're looking for at Plum Island?
Okay, before we start, just because we do have some other members in attendance, I just want to be sure that they and you understand that if they have a question, they can use the raise hand function. So as the person kind of managing the Zoom aspect of the meeting, if I see a hand raised, you just need to be sure, like you would in any public meeting, ask if anybody has any questions or comments, and they can raise their hand and I will unmute them and allow them the opportunity to speak.
Okay.
Okay.
I guess that said, after the board or committee members have spoken, I will afford the public comment as follows. Like Susan said, the raised hand function. That said, Deb, would you go over the request from, I don't know if it came from Bob or if it came from Tracy?
Okay, can you hear me? Okay, it's actually on my desk and I ran up here to use the office, but it was an email from Tracy stating that Bob Connors had offered to volunteer to clean up syringes and I believe medical waste and other debris on Plum Island Beach itself. And that they asked if we could request it if the Board of Health could put this on their next agenda for discussion and approval of the cleaning up of the beach.
Okay, and I'll go back. For years now, I've been listening to people tell me that the beach is private property owned by the homeowners that abut it. In that vein, I myself don't believe that we can grant anybody permission to clean up somebody else's private property. Where are you on that, Elaine?
Well, is this just in front of one person's property?
No, I believe he's volunteered to do that whole section of the beach.
Well, if it is hypodermic needles on the beach, then I think that is a public health situation, and I don't care if it's private property. It's a beach that is being used by the public, so therefore I think it should be cleaned up.
Well, I'll agree with removing syringes and stuff like that, but he's talking about taking heavy equipment down there and scooping up everything. A couple of things that come to mind: a piping plover.
Yeah, but aren't people liability?
Private property.
What about the liability?
Well, it's private property, so you're the lawyer. Where does the liability cease? I don't believe it does.
No, but is there a liability issue here?
That
Did
probably
any-
needs to be the town council, I would say.
Yeah, I think you need to discuss that and find out if is he going to ensure that the town is not going to be liable for any damage, or what if someone gets hurt? You know, I think we need to look into that, you know,
Steve?
before he goes on to the beach. If he runs somebody over or whatever, I think you need to look into that aspect of it. But as far as cleaning up the beach, getting the hypodermic needles off of there, I think, yeah, I'm all for that. But I do think the liability issue needs to be looked into before he starts anything.
We
So
do have
that's,
two raised hands here, Steve. Do you want to hear from your other participants?
Sure, anyone that has something to say, let's hear it.
All right, so I'm going to start with Jeff. Go ahead, Jeff.
Thank you.
Hi, Jeff.
How are you guys? I just came off the marsh myself spraying pepperweed, so I'm kind of tired, but I'll try to be sharp. This isn't something for people that might be looking at this for the first time. Mr. Connors, Bob's been doing this for probably 5 years in conjunction with the town or not in conjunction with the town, and James has picked up the debris at Center Island. It usually starts to heat up with people complaining about this time of year. And I guess I'm asking Deb or Ginger or Steve, I think the reason this came to you this time was I thought in the past you had okayed for Bob to clean the beach maybe 3 years ago, and I might be mistaken there. So I think that's why it came to you guys, like the dogs end up and, you know, stuff on the beach ends up in your lap. So that's how this kind of came to that position. And the only reason it's actually out front, and you guys probably know it, is the Audubon felt there were some plover nests on the private property, which is from, I don't know if you're aware of it, Eileen, but from Center Island South is private property, and we have an easement from Center Island, which makes it more public access towards the north. And I think what Bob is wanting to do, and Alicia can correct me, is to clean the private property like he's done. He has cleaned the whole beach at certain times, but the private property more in the last few years. So that's history. And if there's any questions, that I can answer, let me know.
I guess it still comes back to how can we grant somebody permission to go on somebody else's private property, especially if there are plover nests on the private property. Who's going to take the responsibility for that?
Steve, my only question was, did we do this once before, though? Did the board?
I don't recall it.
You don't remember either?
No,
I don't, not to the best of my knowledge.
All right.
no, I don't recall that at all, ever.
Well, that's how it's in your lap, because it's I guess people are complaining and it's become a medical concern. So, and obviously it's just not, I mean, when he cleans the beach, he cleans all the debris, cleans the seaweed. Everyone wants to get rid of green heads right now, and the green heads are in the rack. So, but it is what it is. It's, you guys make your decision, and from there we'll go.
All right, I'm going to open it to Alicia. Okay, hold on.
Thank you, Susan. Hi,
Hi, Alicia.
everyone. Hi there. Thanks for taking the time to meet today. So a resident of the island is finding these hypodermic needles washed up on shore, and they're washing up down by where they sell the ice cream down north of Center Island, and they're being, they're coming into the racking. And it's my understanding that Mr. Connors wants to clean the beach from and he has done this in the past. He has an agreement with the town from 2017 to clean from the refuge on the south end up to the Newburyport line. Where it's coming before the Board of Health right now is that there is an area of potential nesting materials, but those birds should have fledged by now. And public health trumps all else, as we've all learned during this COVID-19 crisis. And hypodermic needles on a beach where children play, I think is a public health issue. And I believe it came before, I don't know if it ever came before the Board of Health before. It may have been something that just the health department handled, was 2 years ago, because again, there was more waste washing up on the shore. And the birds hadn't fledged yet. And it's just the conflict comes between the birds fledging, the piping plovers, and their protected endangered species status, and public health with children playing on the beach and hypodermic needles and everything else from all the combined sewage overflows that come down the river, wash up on the shores. It is a public health concern, especially where nobody has any place else to go anymore. And I don't know why it has to come before the Board of Health. I thought it would just be something that just the health department could handle, but we're here now. And so now that you understand, hopefully you can do something to decry this a public health crisis and have them pick up these needles on the beach, is my thought.
Well, picking up the needles is one thing, using heavy equipment to do it's another, because it's still private property. And I just don't know. I mean,
No, it's not unique. This is not new. This is not new to Plum Island. This has been done in the past. It's not new to the Commonwealth. There are beaches all over the Commonwealth where
Oh, I know.
it's used to clean.
I know, I'd like
So-
a dime, I'd like a dime for every hypodermic needle that's come down the Merrimack
Isn't
River.
it? It's terrible. It's terrible. I know you all agree with me. I just want to know what we need to do to get this accomplished so we can clean the racking and clean that beach and salvage what's left of the summer.
Okay, anyone else? Elaine, how do we set this up, giving him permission to remove any medical waste?
Well, I think he should be able to remove the medical waste. We just need to settle the issue of liability. Period.
And then,
Gotta get that out of there.
so it's a public health issue that we're gonna make a big pile of something, and then the DPW is gonna haul it away. There's probably an issue with that.
Well,
No,
how
that's
did-
how it's handled in the past. It's always been
Yeah.
handled the same way.
yeah.
Never,
How
never
did they
come
do
before
it?
the Board of Health. I mean, there are,
Well, how did they do it in the past, Steve? I mean, they obviously have been doing it in the past, so how did they do it before? This is the first time we've had to handle it, but they've been doing it before, so
Yeah, honestly, I
it's
don't know
not,
what the hell
it's not
is even
something
involved.
new.
And like
Well,
I,
it is a health issue.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it hasn't come before us before. But
There you
the
go.
issue is right now. So I think, we need to handle it the same way as it was handled before. The only thing I'm concerned with, as I said, is a liability issue in case someone gets hurt, period. And then just move on.
Steve, can you remember it as anything to do with the beach management plan?
with what?
Can you remember it as part of the beach management plan that when we enabled the sand to go on the beach, when we pumped it, we also had to establish a management plan to keep the beach in good shape. And I think that's where this all kind of started from. And I mean, if this isn't going to be something that the Board of Health can solve, then maybe we ought to push it somewhere like the town council or something. I mean, the Board of Selectmen don't have any problems trying to solve it either. But for some reason, I think Alicia and I were under the illusion that it was something that was settled by you folks once before.
I sure don't recall it, neither does Elaine.
It's fine.
I mean, I don't have a problem, I don't have any problem removing syringes.
No one's gonna go out and do it without, without the beach cleaner.
I mean, they don't belong there, I understand that. We dealt with this, the only time we ever got involved in this was with dog droppings.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure which way to go.
I just pulled up the beach management plan, and there is a section on debris and trash removal, beach cleaning, beach maintenance, beach nourishment, and then there's also a section about the Parker River Refuge, endangered species, so,
Susan, I think we had to do that after we dredged, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, I don't know if all the plovers have fledged, but I think that's a simple call to the refuge. And
Well, I think it's mentioned in this beach management plan, the time of year that they fledge, that they cannot clean. And we're already outside of that area.
And if they have an active nest, they just have the Audubon volunteer come down and walk in front of the machine.
Yeah, that could solve it. The other problem is, once you get this however much medical waste you have, it becomes illegal for our DPW to remove it because it's clinical waste. It has to be red bagged and disposed of properly, and we don't have the facility to dispose of a large quantity like that. And I'm not trying to be contrary, but It's a lot more than just meets the eye. What if one of the DPW workers trips and falls into a pile of medical waste? What do we do?
I think they're adults and it's better than a child running on the beach stepping on a needle.
Yeah.
That's my biggest fear.
I
And this
mean,
has been handled
all-
before. I don't think it's that much medical waste. A few years ago, there was a lot of medical waste. It was
Yeah.
covered all over the news, all up and down the East Coast. I think this may be, I mean, I'm calling it medical waste, but it could be, drug addiction on the island as well. I don't really know.
I don't know if it's drug addiction on the island or further upriver too, all
Yeah,
combined.
people attending,
Yeah,
coming to the
yeah,
island because it's so secluded.
That looked like a insulin syringe, but works fine with heroin, so who knows?
Everything that happens in Havel or Lawrence ends up down here, just the way
Okay.
it goes.
They don't even have to flush twice.
I think we're getting off track. Steve,
Well, I'll entertain a reasonable motion.
you'll entertain a motion? Well, I'll make a motion that we go forward with removing the syringes as long as we settle the issue of liability. That's my motion.
All right, and can you add to that and ultimate disposal?
Well, the disposal, that definitely has to be looked into as well. And I'd like to know what they've been doing in the past about the disposal.
Yeah, I mean, we can't say, yeah, do it, and then turn our backs and knowingly understand that there's going to be some blindfolds on. So
I know.
maybe the
I'll
thing,
have to amend my motion. I have to amend my motion now that you've made me, you made me aware of that. Being a lawyer, I can't do it.
maybe, how about if we schedule another meeting for a week from now, table it for till next week and get the answers to these questions.
I
Yeah, but have
think
you
we've
been-
got to get the needles off the beach, Steve, first.
Deb, have you been writing some stuff down too, like the bullet points? Make sure they get back out to Tracy and everyone too, so we'll get everyone back in the loop again. Maybe it's just time to develop, a collective, get together and solve the problem with the Board of Selectmen, town council and the Board of Health. Maybe we all should kind of
Yeah,
pull it in and see what's going on.
right.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to know that everything from running on private property to checking the plover nests
Yep.
to the ultimate disposal of clinical waste is being done according to law, because it's all covered by.
And the machine. You want to know about the machine on private property too. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So might as well
But,
dive into this.
but we're still on my motion. Let's go back to the motion. Can we stick to my motion first, Steve? And then we'll talk about, can I just amend my motion to say that we'll ask that the waste be held until we figure out what to do with it? Let's not put it in with the regular trash.
I don't believe it is with regular trash. I believe that it's all coordinated with the DPW. They're all aware of what could be the potential for what is in that trash, what has been found in that trash. This is not something that's just thrown on the DPW. It's a coordinated effort to clean the beaches every single year. They do it after, they do it in the beginning of the season, do it weekly during the season, and they do it after every major storm. So this is not like the Plum Island has never been cleaned. It's just never been
So-
before the Board of Health before.
No, that, I think you're losing what we're saying. The problem is that the hypodermic needles should not be put in, it's a hazardous waste. It's almost like a medical waste. And it
is a
has to
medical-
be kept, it has to be kept separate from any other
Yeah, in
trash.
the biohazard bags, those red
Yeah,
biohazardous
right.
bags.
Yeah, so it goes in a red bag, and then you have to have a special permit to be able to dispose of red bag trash. So I think we need to,
We just need to ensure that that's what's being done, is what Steve is saying. And it's really a concern. And now that we know about it, we have a duty to make sure that that's what's being done and it's not being thrown in with other trash. That's a big concern.
I understand.
Yeah. So now we've got a motion out there which is to get the beach cleaned of the hypodermic needles, looking and also answering that issue about the liability. But I also, we want to make sure that when it's cleaned up, it's not being hauled off somewhere. We want to find out, we want to have this answer about where that's going.
maybe the thing to do, Elaine, is tell a DPW to do their beach cleaning and don't even mention clinical waste. Do what they do every year, every week,
Yeah.
whatever. Just do it.
Yeah,
If
but
they've
where
been
they
doing
gonna
that
bring
all-
it?
They don't clean the beach, Steve. The DPW doesn't clean the beach.
But Alicia just said that they had,
It's Bob.
Bob cleans the
Bob's got the
beach, but the
machine.
DPW hauls away the debris. It's put in a
Oh,
pile in
if
Center
it's just,
Island and the
if it's just
DPW
junk,
hauls it
let
away.
them. If it's just junk, let them.
Yeah.
If there happens to be some medical waste that gets mixed with it, that's beyond our control.
So now that we know about it, what do we,
That's why I say we should probably table it for a week, get all the information together, invite the selectmen and the town council to a meeting next week on Zoom. And let's just make sure that all the i's are dotted and the t's are crossed. It's been there this long, one more week. In the meantime, you can, on Channel 9, we can say if you're taking your children to the Plum Island Beach, it's recommended that you check the area for hazardous materials because some have been washing up on the beach. I don't know what else to do.
Is anything posted at the beach, Deb?
oh. I don't know.
What do you mean posted at the beach?
I mean, on occasion, I think that the Board of Health can post information as it relates to anything that, there's no dogs on the beach, there's no this, and I know a lot of the signage isn't there, but I guess this is possibly a consideration, as Elaine just mentioned, that perhaps, we can put it on Channel 9, but that doesn't help our tourists. I don't know if you've ever done anything in the past. I'm just thinking out loud.
No, I know, but a sign saying what? I misunderstood. I'm not.
Just
Watch out for hypodermic needles.
Oh,
Jeff, do you have any problem with Bob just doing what he's done in the past?
I mean, I'm not in a meeting, so it's pretty hard for me to speak for the board.
I asked you.
You're asking a private citizen.
Yeah, I'm asking for your opinion.
Well, I think the best way for me to answer that would be, it has been done before on a regular basis. And I'm not quite sure why the difference is now, except for it was flagged by Audubon as having nests on the private end at this time. So that
I
kind of,
believe Audubon notified the conservation agent that there should be absolutely no beach cleaning
And I think he
due to the
probably asked
fledglings.
not to. Yeah.
Right, and that is and that's how it all came up, that, these were taken care of by the regular beach cleaning, but now that they're not allowed to beach clean, they're starting to come up again. So he wants to be able to continue with his beach cleaning, and kind of public health trumps Mass Audubon, kind of, so to speak. But
Boy,
this is not,
But I'm torn on the liability issues. And I guess I'd like somebody from Department of the Interior to walk down there and make sure that those birds have fledged. Everything this year is Mother Nature's 2 or 3 weeks late with almost everything. She could be with piping plovers as well.
Probably.
Elaine, what are your wishes? Do you want to modify your motion, or do you want to withdraw it? And I mean, we can meet in a week. A week is better than indecision altogether.
Well, it sounds like it's 1-to-1 here. So it doesn't sound like my motion's going to go anywhere. But I mean, I'm pretty decided what I want to do, but you sound like you're not going anywhere. So it sounds like we're going to meet in a week. I'm just a little concerned about it. I haven't been to the beach, so I don't know how many hypodermic needles are out there, but I would be very concerned if I had children. And I know how many people have been to the beach, seeing as I live on Plum Island, and the amount of people and the traffic, it's been driving me crazy. So I would be very concerned if I had
Well,
kids going out on the beach.
I'm just reluctant to give anyone an affirmative vote of the Board of Health to go ahead and do it without knowing all the ramifications of it. And
Well, if
I
they
mean,
if they
I want
don't
the beach clean.
well, if they don't take the trash anywhere, then I don't have a problem with it. But I am concerned about the liability issue. Who's going to be liable if something goes wrong with, running the heavy equipment? I don't think we've ever looked into that before. I mean, who's to say? It's never happened before, but it could. So you need to look into that. The plover thing is somebody could walk, like he said, somebody could walk in front of the machine. Yeah, that could easily be taken care of. But the issue of taking that hazardous waste and just throwing it in with the regular rubbish, that's unacceptable.
It's almost impossible to separate it, Elaine.
Well, then it's all contaminated. You know that as well as I do.
That's one of my points is how do we get rid of it?
It's all contaminated.
So we have to figure out how to get rid of it, assuming we can get rid of it. I know we can, I just have to figure out exactly what we have to do to get rid of it and what's it going to cost to get rid of it. And there's a lot of issues that
It's going to be a pain.
come into play just after the fact as well as during. I mean, the liability is number one. Public health is number one, liability is number two. But so
But I think we need to get the hypodermic needles off of the beach. Have town council look into the liability issue. Bring this issue up next week if you want to schedule something with the selectmen, and then discuss all of the issues that we've raised. This is definitely a can of worms.
I think Deb has a question.
I do. I have one little, just a suggestion to the board. I don't know if this is something that might make this go a little quicker for everybody, would be, I could shoot an email right out to town council today, and she's very good about getting back to us, and shoot you the answer on the liability of the town. And that way, therefore, if it's all good with town council and we kind of work and get this done, we could, maybe address this on a quicker notion, if that's something to get these needles cleaned up. If that's something the board would like me to do, I'd be happy to get this going quicker. It's up to you guys.
Yeah, you can do that. And also, Jeff, are you tight with anybody from Interior?
We have a new manager there now, so he's just getting his feet wet. The wildlife refuge, although they hold the hand of the federal end of things, they've left a lot of that to Audubon too. Audubon has been, except for plovers on their end of the beach, which they're very aggressive with. The other, they've left to Audubon. I mean, I think hearing everything, understanding the position you guys are in, if Deb reaches out to town council, if you're going to have another meeting, we'll have much more information from town council. And Deb, anything else that you can think of, and Steve and Elaine and Ginger and Alicia and I will think, and we'll try to get all the things we need to have on the table. I mean, honestly, Bob has been extremely good cleaning the beach as part of the beach management plan for a long time. I mean, it has been with the knowledge of the town. The town has always picked stuff up. I mean, he insures the heck out of himself, and I don't know, the liability that the town has. We can find that out. But of course,
Well,
the problem's going to be if for some reason this doesn't suit everyone to be able to facilitate this, town's going to have to buy a beach sweeper, and the town's going to have to hire guys to do it.
All right.
Now it's going to cost us 150 grand a year or more when we've been getting it done for nothing. So
Right.
let's see what happens.
Well, who can we get to send us a note regarding the plovers? They may have pledged, but how mobile are they? I mean,
We received something. Tracy received something. Tracy can recontact and get a status quo on the plovers from the person that sent the original note 2 weeks ago.
because if they said no beach cleaning at all,
Well, and that's what I'm saying. They can get a status on that.
Yeah, I think it was just no beach cleaning in the area where these plovers,
Plovers were.
yeah, they have it marked off.
But we can get a ruling from them.
okay. So what works for you for next week, Elaine?
Whatever. You just name it. And then I'll tell you.
Yep.
Hold on. Okay, sorry. A couple of things. One is just to let you know, I don't know if you want, we just got notified that we have to hold a meeting in 10 days because of a variance in requesting with the butter. So we have one in 10 days or 10 days or 11 days or something like that too. So I didn't know if you want to do another one on top. On top of that, I didn't know if this is something we could get an answer even quicker than next week and maybe hold on the end of this week. And why I ask is I've been working many hours with COVID-19 and I don't mind that, but I did honestly want to take next week and just kind of, it was my only week I was planning on a vacation. I'm like, please don't break next week. So I'm trying to get,
Deb, forget it.
I'm like, I just want even a few days to relax. I'm like, I just am really trying to, so I mean, could we do something like even have, I mean, why couldn't we have answers by like Thursday? I mean, I don't know why we couldn't. And
That's fine.
Makes
I
sense.
mean, to me, because my only question is that I totally understand what the Board of Health is saying as far as, all the liability and stuff, but then you also have to wonder of us not doing something, is there any liability of if somebody was to step on a needle or something? Because here we are having this discussion and saying, well, and then somebody steps on and we say, geez, well, we didn't do anything about it. So it's something that I think we should want to try to get our homework done sooner than later, if that sounds okay.
Right.
How's,
I
Elaine,
still
how's
think we
Thursday?
should.
Go ahead.
Thursday.
Thursday at 1?
No, it'd have to be in the morning.
Thursday at 10?
10, okay.
Or do you
10
want it earlier?
o'clock.
You
Yeah,
want it earlier than that?
yeah.
Pick a time. You're the only one that's not
Yeah, I
retired.
can't, yeah, I'm on my phone, so I can't tell you. I think I have something going on in the morning and I can't tell you what my schedule is, unfortunately. Thursday's my day.
Okay, will you let Deb know in the next hour or two?
Yes, I will.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. If you want to get back to me and we can post the exact time, that would be fine.
If need,
I will-
if need be, we can do it after
So-
2 o'clock on Wednesday.
We'll find out. I'll get all the homework done. Yeah, Wednesday's fine for me too. So either day would work for me, whatever you want.
We just need 2 full days, so 2 o'clock Wednesday would.
Yeah.
Wednesday better?
Is that better for you, Elaine?
Wednesday's fine. Okay. Of Wednesday too, okay.
As long as
Okay.
town council's not on vacation this week, I'll get an answer for her on that.
So
Somebody
my,
from her
my
office should be
motion's
there.
not going anywhere.
That's true.
Well, it hasn't got a second yet.
No. Oh,
I don't know if there's any way we can just tell Bob do what he always does. Not, I mean, I don't know.
So is your concern over the beach cleaning itself or the removal of the debris?
Well, they're
I'm
they're both-
concerned about the debris.
It's 2 separate issues that both
Yeah,
require answers.
One thing we don't know is if the highway department hasn't been following protocols up to this point too. We don't know that. But you make some good points. So
Hmm.
let's get.
I think,
let's
I
get
don't
it
want to
over.
assume. I think I wouldn't want, me as a board member wouldn't want to assume, and I don't want you guys as board members to assume
I think
either.
you make Good points.
So I think maybe it's for the next meeting, we ask that the head of the DPW attend as well, so maybe he can explain to you how it has been handled in the past. Can ask him.
I don't think that's a good idea. Because if they haven't been doing it correctly,
Yep.
he's gonna be on the public record as saying that. I just don't think we should ask that question.
yeah, he'll be very defensive. I don't,
No, it's not defensive. In order to get rid of that stuff, you have to have a permit.
yeah,
You have to be licensed to handle it.
right.
And if they're doing it unknowingly, that's one thing. But if they're gonna be doing it knowingly, that's a different ballgame.
Well, Deb's gonna lay out some requests when she sends
I
them
know.
to town council. And let's see what we get back.
All right, can you get, Deb, is that meeting in 10 days? Can that be done in 2 days?
Possibly. I can check with DEP. So what it is we have to notify the abutter of a property of there's no other place but their septic system, leach field, but it's within 100 feet of the neighbor's private well. And I actually felt bad on this one because the engineer did not notify the abutters, and so therefore it's kind of holding up a sale. So I think both parties, if they sign a certified letter saying they agree with that, we could possibly get them on this agenda too, which would be a win-win for everybody.
All right, why don't you deal with that? We'll post a meeting for 2 PM Wednesday, what's that, 15th?
Okay,
That
So it's
meets the
gonna be
40 That meets
Wednesday?
the 48 hours.
Okay.
Thought you wanted to meet Thursday morning.
Um,
Elaine, did that work for you, Elaine?
It
I
doesn't.
don't know, I gotta get back to you on Thursday. I have to look at my calendar.
But she said you said Wednesday at 2 worked?
Yeah,
Wednesday
I
at
can
2.
make that work.
All right, that works legally, so
Okay.
let's see what we'll do as much as we can put together.
Wednesday might be hard for me, but I'm only here because of the original email anyway. And if Alicia's on for answer any questions, that'll be great.
I'll get back.
We came on to answer questions. So
All right, If Elaine can do it Thursday would be better, Deb.
Okay,
think-
I'll get back to you on that.
But if not, make it for Wednesday afternoon after 2.
Okay.
That okay with you, Alicia?
Yeah, whatever you guys want to do, I'll make my schedule work.
Okay, Susan, you've got all the information you need.
Just a matter of when you post it, if you're gonna post it for Wednesday or not, because you've got 15 minutes.
Hey, Ginger.
We could also do it at 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
Wednesday at 3. So we'll make sure we have 48 hours.
Okay.
That said, I'll entertain a motion to close this meeting.
I'll second it.
I'll entertain a motion. You make the motion, I'll second it.
Oh, all right. I'll make the motion to adjourn.
I'll second that. And
Okay.
thank you all for participating and helping out.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
All right.